Hey, what's good, everyone? It's Sal Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Chatterbox. How you all doing? I hope you're all doing well. Well, you know what? Man United have just had their latest press conference. Ruben Amorim. We'll be getting into that. Hopefully, we'll be getting some clips from Ruben Amorim's press conference today. Of course, just waiting for it to be updated. And then I'll give you some clips from the Ruben Amorim press conference. Of course, guys, really great to have you guys with me, here with me. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And please don't forget to smash a like on the video. I'll get my words out in a minute. I will get my words out in a minute, absolutely. But there has been a lot of, quiet in regards to words. There has been a lot of quietness in regards to Man United and transfers, hasn't there? It's been a bit mellow, to be honest with you. You know, all we're hearing about Rashford this, Garnacho this, etc., etc., etc. This Garnacho news, this thing where what they're doing at the moment is that people are covering up for Ineos's incompetence. Right? I'm seeing all the excuses under the sun. I'm seeing all the excuses out there that, you know what, Ineos this, Ineos not that. It's not their fault because of this. It's not their fault because of that. You know what? I know that you were pro Ineos, but you know one thing you got to be in life in general. You got to be real. You can't be just because it was your opinion and they're doing badly, and you're being proven wrong. You can't just be like, oh, you know what? No, it's because of that. It's because of that. That is like an immature way to handle things. At the end of the day, Ineos done some good things. They had a good transfer window. The first one, they had a good transfer window in the summer. And then since then, they relatively haven't really done anything, have they? Getting in Ruben Amorim was very good. Acting quickly was very good. And that's it. Other than that, you know what? Getting Ruben, getting Barada, getting Wilcox and people of that nature in the club as well was very good. I can praise them when praise is due. But right now, I don't see anything worth praising. I don't see praising sacking security guards on 16 grand a year. I don't see that, and what I'm seeing now is people using excuses about finances around Garnacho and that, when it's obviously been proven that these rules that the European Union has put in can be manipulated at the end of the day. They can be manipulated. And you know what? We're the only team to be cowardly that we're not even going near manipulating it. It's our PRS or whatever it is called these days. It's the first time I've heard of that. You know what I mean? It's the first time I've heard that. It's the first time I've heard of, all these excuses that I'm hearing at the moment. Big up, Jim. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, bruv. Hope you're doing good, brother. Hope everything is fine with you, of course, guys. Yeah, but you know what? Let's get into it. Manchester United do play Glasgow Rangers on Thursday. Believe it or not, there is a football game, a very important football game. Tomorrow, of course, guys, it will be midnight kickoff for me. So technically it's Friday. But Thursday, tomorrow, Man United will be playing Glasgow Rangers. Now, Glasgow Rangers represent a derby for Manchester United. It is a British derby. It has a lot of history, this game, and it cannot be taken lightly. Glasgow Rangers will be going into this game with a point to prove. They'll be ready for Manchester United tomorrow. They'll be ready to cause an upset against Manchester United tomorrow. But it's up to us that we nullify that threat. They're going to be up for it from minute one. So it's up to us to go out there and, you know what? Don't give them a sniff. Don't give them a sniff. And, I hope that, after all this noise over the last week about tables being broken, TVs being broken in the dressing room, I hope that we get a response tomorrow. I saw the training video with Ruben Amorim today, and you know what? He looked very, very serious, guys. He looked very, very serious. And to be honest with you, I'm not surprised. He looked at those players. Some of them were laughing and giggling. He looked at them and, you know what, you guys, you better step up tomorrow, because you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. You're going to be out the door if you do not step up. Goodness me, at the end of the day. Big up everyone, of course, guys. So I'm going to give you my team for tomorrow, guys. I'm going to give you my team lineup, my prediction for the lineup, of course, tomorrow, of course, guys. So very, very interesting. So let's have a look at the team that I would choose for tomorrow. It's a prediction at the end of the day. It's just a prediction, guys. It's just a prediction, of course, guys. So this is the team that I would think that I would go for at the end of the day. Let me have a look. Let's have a look. Okay, the predicted 11, we got, I think that he will play Bayern in goal. I think he'll play Martinez will step back into that side with Maguire, De Ligt in the central defence. Dalot will remain in left back. We ain't got no one else at the end of the day, so Dalot will remain in left back. Now, this is where it gets a little bit interesting, guys. I say that it will be Collier starting. I say it will be Collier starting. Collier will start this game against Rangers. and Ugarte will start in the middle of that in that midfield as well. Ugarte and Collier will start in the midfield. Ahmad will go to right wing back, and I believe that Xerxes will come in as a number 10, along with Bruno Fernandes. He will up front will be Rasmus Højlund. Now, this is a guess. This is what I think it will be. I think it was something on the lines of this. I could be wrong, of course. It's just a prediction, but it is something on the lines of this formation. I believe it. I believe that he will go with something like this. I do believe he will re-adopt Ahmad in that right wing back position, because Ahmad obviously Mazraoui needs a rest. I believe Mazraoui needs a rest, and I would rest him for this game against Rangers. And I think that team is good enough to beat Rangers. Would you play Collier in the middle like me? Would you do that? Would you guys do that as well? I do believe it'd be something similar. Maybe not 100%, but you know what? This is kind of the formation and the tactics and the team that I think he will pick for tomorrow's game. Of course, a very, very important game against Glasgow Rangers. The last time we did play Glasgow Rangers, of course, was way back in 2010, guys, when we won 1-0 on the 24th of the 11th, 2010. Wayne Rooney with the penalty against Glasgow Rangers. I believe it was in the Champions League. And we got a habit of beating Glasgow Rangers 1-0. We also beat them a few years earlier, 1-0, courtesy of Philip Neville, of course, guys. So that was obviously, a long time ago now. You're looking back now, you're looking at 15 years ago this game was. My goodness, it's been 15 years since we played Glasgow Rangers. But we did play Glasgow Rangers in the friendly game, which Lenny Yoro got injured. If you all remember, Lenny Yoro got injured, and obviously he was out for weeks, months, wasn't he, at the end of the day? And we beat Glasgow Rangers that day 2-0. That was in the summer. It seems like a world away, doesn't it? It seems like years ago, doesn't it? At the end of it just seems like such a long time ago that we played Glasgow Rangers in that preseason friendly, and Lenny Yoro got injured, of course, guys, and at the end of the day, time flies when you're not having fun, to be honest with you. Time flies when you're not having fun, of course, guys. Absolutely, absolutely. Now, guys, I want to get into some of the press conference and stuff in regards to Ruben Amorim, but I will get into that very quickly. I will get into the press conference right now, guys. I'm going to play some of the press conference. I'm going to let you know. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you're thinking about what Ruben Amorim is saying, if you agree with it, if you're not. But it's very interesting, some of this press conference, of course, guys. Very, very interesting indeed. After training, of course, there was a training session, of course, guys. So, it is interesting indeed, guys. So let me bring this in for you guys real quickly. The press conference for Manchester United and Glasgow Rangers, of course, guys. So I'm going to bring this in real quickly.
Hello, welcome to the Jimmy Murphy Centre here at Carrington, where head coach Ruben Amorim faces the media ahead of our Europa League tie with Rangers. Let's hear what he has to say.
Ruben, if I can start with you. Obviously, you had some strong words after the Brighton game. I know that. What response have you seen from your players after what you said?
First of all, I want to talk about that. I was talking more for myself than from my players, because I was talking that, and you have to find out a coach that starts a job and lose 8 games, I think, 7 games in the first 10. So it's more for me. I was talking more about me than the players. I also talk in the same response about I was not helping my players. And if you look around, every time I speak, and I speak a lot, every time you push about the players are not good enough, I never put the spot on my players. So I understand. I gave you that headline, and I'm frustrated sometimes, and sometimes I should not say that in that terms, but it is what it is, and that's it. Sometimes it's really hard to hide the frustration in some moments, but the good thing is that I said the same things in a different way in the dressing room 5 minutes before, so the response was quite normal. because I'm really blunt with my players, and they train well. They are ready for this game, and let's see tomorrow.
Harry, how does that land?
So that was very interesting there. Obviously, Ruben Amorim's going to deflect things. Obviously, what happened, we've had rumors about tables being thrown, chairs being thrown. Obviously, that Ruben Amorim is going to kind of soften it a little bit. He's going to make sure that this is forgotten about and we move on, of course, guys. It's what I expect from Ruben Amorim. It is really what I expect from him. I do agree. You know what? We just move on to that and we have to move on to the next things, of course, guys, because you know what? We can't dwell on it. It's up to those players to perform. He was honest. I believe he was honest. And I believe he did the right thing. He said the right thing. And I believe it was good that what he said, of course, guys. Absolutely. What Amorim should do permanently, drop Onana by in there. I agree, Jim. Absolutely. Absolutely. Big up everyone in Sound Chat. Big up, Jim. Big up everyone, of course. Madanese, we are selling Garnacho because he doesn't want to play for United. He does want to play for United. That's shit. He does. It's FFP reasons, mate. FFP reasons. No one in their right mind would want to sell Garnacho. No one would want to do that at the end of the day. You have to be crazy. Big up. Yo, what's up, Bilal? Good to see you, Bilal. Good to see you. Of course, Sal. What the hell is Rashford training with our players and training videos out there? He's training. Wow. This is abysmal. That happens all the time, Bilal. Just to let you know, that happens all the time. It doesn't mean he's not going to leave the football club. That happens all the time to keep his fitness up, you know, to prevent injury. If you haven't played football for a very long time, you can get stiff and you know what? You can create injury, of course, guys. You can get injured, of course. So that is obviously important. Amorim got scored by the board and sacked the naughty corner and now he's retracting statement. I don't think it's much of a retraction, goes to George. I don't. At the end of the day, I think he's just calming it down. He owned it. He goes, it is what it is. It is what it is. At the end of the day, he said what it is. He said what he needed to say. And he believes that. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer apologized to Marcus Rashford. Apologized to Marcus Rashford. Do you know what I mean? And, he has not denied it or apologized, Mr. Amorim, of course, guys. Of course, George. All right, let's get in with the rest of this press conference.
In the dressing room, when you hear your manager describe the team as possibly the worst in the club's history?
No, I think as players, obviously after the game, we was really frustrated, disappointed, coming off the back of a good away performance and then beating Southampton. Going into the game, we was confident and we felt like we had the belief that we can go and beat Brighton, and ultimately we didn't perform well enough on the day. So we've got to look at ourselves. We've got to take responsibility on ourselves. And as an individual, that's what I do. I go home and think about how I can help this team improve and get back to where we want to get back to. And that's challenging a lot higher than we are in the league. So for me, it's about us players just taking responsibility on ourselves and improving individually, which will help the team improve.
Very important from obviously Maguire, helping the team improve, all about the team. That is what it's all about at the end of the day. I believe that, I think that, what you're going to have to do now is stop talking. It's about walking the walk now. That's what it's about, in my opinion. Absolutely. Walking the walk, not talking the talk. And that's what I want to see tomorrow night, of course, guys. I want to see more walking the walk than talking the talk. Glazers will put the blame on Amorim to hide the dirty management and transfer decisions. Exactly. I think they're doing it with, at the end of the day, Ineos. They're using Ineos as a puppet. Ineos are a puppet. They're a puppet on a string to the Glazers, of course. And that is obviously a problem, because I believe that Ineos are doing the decisions that Glazers didn't want to do, that the Glazers didn't want to do. They're doing all the decisions that the Glazers didn't want to do, of course. I didn't hear that one question about Rangers' tactics and defending against Moroccan R9 Hamza, who is better than all our strikers. Let's wait and see, goals for George. He is playing in a very, 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 very average league. And so let's wait and see if he does any problems for Man United, shall we? If not, maybe we can buy him goals for George, and maybe we can get a cheap option for him, maybe that, if he's any good. But we'll have to wait and see in regards to that, of course, guys. Let's get on with this.
You played quite well recently. I know things haven't been going so well for the team, but the manager said last week you're a leader again. Do you feel as though it has benefited you not being the captain of the club? Because, as you said recently, your form over the past 18 months has been quite consistent.
No, I wouldn't put it down to that, to be honest. whether I'm captain or not, I do see myself as a leader in this group of players. I'm experienced now. I've been at the club over 5 years, and I know that in times when you play for this club, that there's so many ups and downs, and every game that you lose, there's a lot of scrutiny on the players, and players get targeted. And I think that's part and parcel of playing for this club. You've got to accept and take the responsibility on. And I think, look, I look at previous players, and I've spoke about this before, the likes of players like Wayne Rooney and David Beckham. They had a large amount of scrutiny on them, and they was world-class players. So if it can happen to them, it can happen to anybody. And it's part and parcel of playing for this club. And listen, playing for this club's a huge privilege and a huge honour. And I wouldn't change it for anything.
Just regarding that scrutiny, I mean, Joshua Zirkzee had some dreadful stick a few weeks ago, and he's played well since. Did you ever speak to him because you've been through similar experiences at times?
No, I sent him a message privately after the game. But listen, Josh is a good player. You don't play for this club if you're not a good player. He's got to bring that belief out and that confidence out in himself. And I always say in football, there's always another game, and there's always a next opportunity. And with Josh obviously coming on against Arsenal, he really changed the game for us. And then to score that winning penalty, probably give him a lot of confidence and believe that he belongs at this club. So the fans have been brilliant with him. We have amazing fans, and they stick with us through thick and thin. And when times are tough, they really get behind you and support you. And I felt that, and Josh, I'm sure, would have been feeling that over the recent weeks. It's not really about individuals. It's more about as a team. We're disappointed as a team. We want to get higher in the Premier League and start challenging at the top end of it. And this season, ultimately, we haven't been good enough.
Very, very good quotes there from Harry Maguire, of course. Very, very good quotes there, of course. I'm just laughing at Yorkshire Cowboy. He said Sauer looked different. And that's not me, mate. That's not me. I'm on the left. I'm this side, mate. I'm this side. No, that side. That side. I'm that side, of course. Yeah, he did speak a lot of good truths there, of course, guys. He spoke a lot of good truths about it. I like the way Harry Maguire speaks. Harry Maguire, you know what, is very articulate with the way he speaks. I like what he says, and you feel what he says. He does come across as a leader. He does. You know, he does come across a little bit emotional. He sounds very emotional right now. He sounds very downbeat. Of course, we're all downbeat with Man United, of course, guys. We're very downbeat in regards to Man United right now. And to be honest with you, it is sad, you know, the way things have been going this season. But you know what? The great thing about football is that you can bounce back. You can bounce back. You can obviously get, you know, yourself back on top, of course, guys. Absolutely. Jim, how we run is appalling. I'm calling out selling the youth and creating a nursing home, nursing lazy egos. Absolutely. This is what the Glazers and Ineos do. Save money, kick fans in the gut. Fat Sal. Thank you so much, Jim. Absolutely spot on as usual, Jim. Very, very good comment. Of course, my friend. Very, very good comment as usual, brother. As usual. Event actually improved Shaw, Maguire, Dalot, Aaron Bissaka, Ben Rashford, and when he wins the Bundesliga, Dortmund, some fans will start regretting it and say, "This is the fickle world of fans, isn't it?" Goes to George, you know, if Garnacho leaves the football club and he goes and scores 30 goals in Serie A, people are going to be going, "Well, we shouldn't have sold Garnacho. Why did we sell Garnacho? You know, we shouldn't have sold him." And to be honest with you, you know, that is what's going to happen. I can foresee this happening right now. This is the fickle world of being a Man United fan, of course, and obviously that. Of course, big up, Rasta. Hope you're doing well. There you are. Big up. Yorkshire Cowboy. Harry is on a redemption arc. Absolutely. Big up, Harry Maguire. I don't look like Harry Maguire. Absolutely. Sal, mate, I swear down, your lads need to show up. The lads need to show up. Absolutely, Rasta. Tomorrow, look, I've been saying it for ages. Look, Rasta, I'm telling you right now, bro, I don't trust these players. I trust the manager. I don't trust these players. And what the manager showed me the other day is realism. It was real. It was real. And it was refreshing to see that realism. It was refreshing to see that anger, you know, and I wouldn't track back from it. At the end of the day, the problem of being a Manchester United manager is that when you call out players, these players have got huge egos. They got huge egos. And that, you know what, when it gets a little bit dented, you know, the worst thing you can do to a narcissist or an egotistical person is attack their ego. And I think that is what Ruben Amorim did. He attacked their ego. I don't think he's backtracking. I think he's just like, you know what, it is what it is. I did it. Maybe I overreacted. So what? It is what it is. We're frustrated. And I like that about Ruben Amorim, of course. Absolutely. Big up, Jim, of course.
Sorry. Can you explain? You say all the players are good players, and clearly they are the top-end Premier League players in theory, but you're not, as a team at the moment, a top-end Premier League team or playing anything like it. Can you explain why that happened?
If I could explain it, I think we'd change it straight away. I think, like you said, we've got players who's played numerous games internationally, won lots of trophies in club football. But at the moment, we're not playing well enough as a team, and the league table shows that. So I can only keep going on about it. We've got to take responsibility on as players. We've got to stop looking for excuses and blaming things. And it's really important that as an individual, you improve yourself, you come into training, you give absolute everything. And that's only what we can do.
Sorry, Ruben. I take on board what you said right at the start. But if you're taking responsibility away from the players, then you put it on you. And someone has to take responsibility for the fact that Manchester United are 14th in the...
I'm not taking responsibility from the players. What I'm saying that is the message that you guys show was that I was putting on the players. What I was saying is that you have to look really hard to find the team of Manchester United in 10 games that lose 7 games. In that is on me, because it's the same players doing worse with a new coach. That's my only concern in the moment. But I'm not taking anything from the players. What I'm saying is that we have to improve in the details, and I explained that. The way we play, we are too nervous with the ball. Too nervous, really anxious. And then if you have a little bit experience in this game, when you fall in this type of context, it's really hard to go up, especially when you are a massive club. So that was my only point. It was the best point to do it after that loss in the way I do it. Maybe not, but it is what it is. And I'm like that all the time. So I'm not taking responsibility from the players. I'm saying, I'm really, really direct in things. I'm saying in this moment, we are performing really bad and our results are really bad in the moment. So it's everything together, the players, the staff, the technical stuff. So I'm not taking responsibility. I'm just pointing that I'm the biggest responsible of the performance and the results, because I'm the coach and I have that responsibility.
So there you go, guys. Look, you know what? He is saying that you will be hard-fetched to find a Manchester United team that has lost 7 games in 10 games. And it's absolutely perfectly said. Because at the end of the day, what does that tell you? That we are one of, I wouldn't say we're the worst. I wouldn't go that far, but I would say that we are one of the worst Manchester United teams in history, guys. I would say we're one of the worst Manchester United teams in history. I wouldn't say we're absolutely the dog ends, the worst Man United team in history, but that was frustration, and it was born out of frustration. The way he said that, it was born out of frustration. And to be honest with you, I agree with him. You know, and it is a collective at the end of the day. As Harry Maguire said, it is a collective. You need to look at yourself. We need to look at ourselves as a team. We're a bunch of individuals, and we keep blaming people, blaming this person, blaming that person, blaming Garnacho, blaming that, you know. And then the fact of the matter is, we are simply not a good football team. And that is what it is at the end of the day. And we need to improve as a football team, of course. Let's get through some comments, guys. Jim, greetings, everyone. Big up Yorkshire Cowboy. Big up everyone, of course. Big up Randy. What's going on, Randy? Hope you're doing well. Big up Ricardo. What's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're doing well, of course. Big up yourself. So it should be actually Bruno sitting next to the manager, as Bruno is the captain. Yeah, well then. That tells us something, doesn't it, Jim? Maybe that shows us that, you know what? Maybe he needs to be taken out of the limelight a little bit. I do understand with Bruno that Bruno, you know, I don't think he's a good captain. I've been saying that for a very long time. I don't think Bruno is a good captain. I don't think he's the guy you want in the trenches with you. You know, I just feel like he gives up too easily. He throws the blame. He throws his arm around and stuff like that. I just don't think that is what a Manchester United captain should be all about at the end of the day. But, you know, it is what it is, to quote the words of Ruben Amorim. And let's see what happens. Generally, we've had other players. We had Lenny Yoro there last week, didn't we? So, you know, maybe Ruben Amorim just wants to put the players in the spotlight a little bit, different players to have different turns in answering questions to the media, of course, guys. Absolutely. Goals for George. I will not believe the team or manager until I see a team go on a run of 4 or 5 games, win. Talk is cheap, and this club just wants a good football because the post-Ferguson all falter. Absolutely. It's been painful for us, Goals for George, and nothing I want more than for a Manchester United team to be successful. You know, we've had 11 years of crap, over 11 years. And I never would have envisioned back in 2013 that Manchester United would be this bad. I never thought that Manchester United would go through this barren spell, you know. And to be honest with you, I've heard a lot of talk. Goals for George, you've heard a lot of talk, mate. You know, and to be honest with you, I'm tired of talk too. The one thing I would say is that whilst we are continuing our process in regards to changing managers, etc., I'm seeing characteristics about this manager that I like, yeah, because I see a realism in him. I see a guy who's one of us. Do you know what I mean? I see a guy who's frustrated, and that is what he said last week post Brighton. Is something that many of us would have said. It's something that many of us would have pointed to. It would have turned to, because at the end of the day, you know what? I would say that these players haven't been good enough. As a team, we haven't been good enough for 11 years. And this is why I try to tend not to turn on the manager, because this is a problem, a cultural problem at the football club, a fundamental issue that is going on at this football club that runs deeper than just what you see. There is far more going on in this football club. Like I said earlier this morning about Marcus Rashford, the certain things that I've heard about Marcus Rashford have been absolutely incredible. Some of the things I've heard about Marcus Rashford, you wouldn't even believe some of the things I've heard about him. And to be honest with you, if people heard that, they'd be like, why is he even playing for Manchester United? Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, that is a big one. Of course, well-spoken, Ruben, solid speaker, tall and cheap. Bravo. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. The Wangers in the press conference are perpetrating anti-United. Absolutely off. Nobody gets up for games more than against us. We have to get back to the siege mentality. Absolutely, Yorkshire Cowboy. Us against the world. Us against the world. I know Jose Mourinho used to do it. But what Ruben Amorim needs to do is say, look at these journalists. They don't want us to win. They are against us. They are our enemy. And we should use this as a siege mentality. Tomorrow, it starts tomorrow. Man United need to win this game. Tomorrow, Man United need to win this game. I don't care about anything else. Forget about the media. Prove it on the pitch. Show us what you're made of. And let's go from there, of course, guys. Let's go from there. Yorkshire Cowboy, pre-Ferguson was a worse team. Pre-Ferguson was a pretty bad team, Yorkshire Cowboy, and I was there, my friend. At the end, it was a pretty bad team. And the problem with the pre-Ferguson era is that team went years without winning the title. They actually went 26 years in the end, you know. And Alex Ferguson was famously one game from the sack, of course, against Mark Robbins and stuff like that, you know. What I would say, back in that time when I went to Wembley to see the Crystal Palace Man United FA Cup final way back in 1990. And you can sense the tension around the club. And as Ruben Amorim said there, he said, once you've got that anxiety, once you're giving away the ball, and if you're a big club, the pressure mounts and it becomes very hard to get back up. It does. And this is what's going on with Man United. It's a bit like a striker who hasn't scored for 3 or 4 games. Everything they hit just doesn't go in the back of the net. But when you get that confidence, everything you hit seems to go in the back of the net. Even if it's off your backside, it goes in the back of the net. This is exactly what confidence is all about. And if you have anxiety on the pitch, it's very hard to raise yourself. And when I went to Wembley that day, Man United drew 3-3 with Crystal Palace. When I went to Wembley that day, you know what? I saw a team that was nervous, that was anxious, expected to beat Palace that day. Ian Wright had a blinder, by the way, but expected to beat Palace that day. But they had nervousness because you could tell they weren't champions. They weren't champions. And you know what? They were a cup team. Man United were a cup team. I'm afraid right now, Man United are becoming more like a cup team. Sadly, Man United are becoming more like a cup team. And that is what I want us to avoid, of course, guys. Absolutely.
Ruben, you've spoken a couple of times about the anxiety that you feel sometimes at Old Trafford? Is it becoming harder to play there at the moment as opposed to being away? And is there anything that you can do to combat it, that feeling of kind of nervousness, anxiety when you play home games?
I think that is clear. I could say different things and say, no, it's the same thing. We have the support of the fans. No, we are more nervous playing at home than away, because we lost a lot of games, like 4 games in 5. So it's getting harder. What we can improve, I think, if we don't suffer the first goal, like in the 4th minute, and I remember like it's 4th minute, 10 minute, 15 minutes, and then it's really hard to calm down the team. So we need, the first thing in my mind is they cannot score. We need to score the first one. If we score the first one, I think that will change and we will play better at home in the beginning. So that's it. I think it's really clear. We are really anxious playing, especially at home, and we are suffering goals, and then it's really hard. So I think it's clear for everybody that is getting harder to play at Old Trafford.
Yeah, we need to build up. We need to make Old Trafford into a fortress again, guys. We really do. Old Trafford has not been a fortress for many years, as we know. It's been, a very easy place to go to for various teams. Bournemouth have beaten us twice at Old Trafford 3-0. 3-0 twice in a row. Who would have said that 20 years ago? Bournemouth will crock up to Old Trafford and win 3-0 twice in a row. Who would have thought that? Do you know what I mean? You would never have thought that. But you know what? I would say that Man United need to make Man United home ground a fortress. Scary. I think Man United and Old Trafford is too nice. I've always said this. I love Fred the Red. I love Fred the Red. But we got mascots running around. We got too much niceties going on, hugs and kisses and stuff like that. Man United need to make Old Trafford a fortress again. That's what we need to do. And, by doing that, we need to make the fans scary. Right? At the moment, we're not scary. We're not scary at all. And that is what we need to do. We need to give those players confidence, cheer those players. But you know what? It is a double-edged sword, because at the end of the day, those players need to show us something as well. They need to show us something as well, of course. Jim, Sal, what I desire for Manchester United is not a one lose, one and go back and forth. Absolutely. I want consistent wins. If we can toe-to-toe with Liverpool and City and Arsenal, we should be taking care of the rest. Absolutely. It's what I said earlier, Jim. It's what I said last week as well. After the Brighton game, how can we go toe-to-toe with Arsenal with 10 men and the referee against us? Should have beat Liverpool, went toe-to-toe with Liverpool, beat Manchester City, of course, and then go play Brighton. And let's not forget Southampton as well. We didn't play well. We should have lost that game as well. Southampton should have been about 3-0 up at halftime. Let's not forget about that. And then go play Brighton and then get absolutely destroyed. And deservedly lost the game. I don't understand that. I really don't understand what's wrong with this football team. And it needs to be cleared. We need to hurry up, because this is going to resonate again for years, isn't it? So we need to start thinking. We need to start being more brave and start, thinking who we're playing for. Of course, just want my United back. Me too, Darren. We've been there, Darren. We know what it's all about. We just want it back, don't we? We just want Man United back, winning ways. Wouldn't it be great if Man United can go back to winning ways? Of course, guys, that would be brilliant. We took it for granted, didn't we? We took it for granted, didn't we? Absolutely. Goals. If United manage to bring Dorgu, Dorgales, Naipan, and Osman in January, it will give hope regardless of who leaves the club. I agree, Goals for George. It would give us hope, Goals for George. I agree, but we're not going to do that. And that's the problem I have. If, for example, if we done a straight swap with Napoli and Osman, that's a good deal for Man United. I'm not saying it's going to be a bad deal and that no one is untouchable. Of course not. Great players have left this club, but we don't sell youth players. That's the thing. I just feel like a lot of Man United players need to go before Garnacho. And the thing is that, I agree with you, Goals for George, in regards to, I just know that they're not going to do that. If they showed me they're going to do that and they prove to me that they're going to do that, then I'll say, well, yeah, maybe they're justified in getting rid of Garnacho, etc. But at the moment, I don't see any sign that they're going to do a deal like that. Naipan is also, we might miss out on Naipan, word is. Severe Naipan, and we've got a gentleman's agreement with Severe Naipan. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Dorgales, I don't know too much about Dorgales. Is he as good as Garnacho? You know what I mean? So I'm not too sure about that. I'd rather play a youth team from the youth. A youth player from the youth. But we'll have to wait and see. Pearl, what's going on, my friend? I'll be doing well. So does it mean Rashford will not be back playing as a sub even for United right now? No, I don't believe so, Pearl. Guys, I spoke to you guys earlier. I've given you a hint of what's been going on with Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford has addiction problems with certain substances. He also has a gambling problem. And this is something that we have to acknowledge and Man United have to address. Right. But he also has other problems, which I can't talk about. It's very personal, but I can't talk about it on here. But if you wanted to talk to me on Twitter or something privately, I'll let you know. But the thing is that there's something very, very wrong with Marcus Rashford. And maybe we need to lend him some support. But Man United can't be dealing with this right now. We've got enough problems of our own. And we can't keep, going back and forwards with these problems, of course. Absolutely. Big up, Pearl. Big up yourself. What Man United players should do is like they did against Arsenal game, gather to get together in a team, huddle pre-game and prep to. Absolutely, mate. This should be a norm, isn't it, Jim? This should be a norm. And this should be something that, Man United should practice every single game because we know we can play against Arsenal. We know we can play Man City. We know we can play Liverpool. But it's the other games. I won't be surprised if we struggle against Rangers tomorrow, but I expect us to win. But I wouldn't be surprised if we struggle against Rangers tomorrow. We need to be brave. And we need to be a team. Most of all, we need to be a team, of course. Yorkshire Cowboy. From 86 to 89, we were dreadful. Yes, we were, Yorkshire Cowboy. We were pretty bad. And obviously, we had great players, Norman Whiteside and Paul McGrath, who left the football club. Well-liked players, guys. Well-liked players. And obviously, Paul McGrath had an alcoholic problem. But you know what? We won't get into that. But you know what? Something similar is going on there, of course. But you know what? He got rid of players that were fan favourites. And you know what? At the end of the day, I don't care. Guys, I do care. But if it means Man United getting success, I'm not bothered who leaves the football club. I've seen David Beckham leave the football club. I've seen Eric Cantona leave the football club. I've seen, great players, Mark Hughes, Paul Ince leave the football club. Steve Bruce leave the football club. I've seen these players leave. I've seen Ruud van Nistelrooy leave the football club. And I've seen these players leave. And you know what? It weren't that bad. You know why? Because we were successful. We were successful, of course.
I think you said previously, a couple of weeks back, there's a storm coming, yes? So it's fair to say you're in the storm, yeah? Can it get any worse for you, this team, in terms of your position, your performances, the results? Can there be thunder and lightning in the storm?
I think the most important thing is to think that we can improve right away in the next match, and then it's like that. The football can change like that. We can have a lot of ideas and thinking that it's getting worse for that reason or the other reason. Imagine that tomorrow we don't suffer a goal in the beginning and we score and we play well, and then we go to Fulham and you can win it. That will change even the environment here and everything. So I don't know. What I knew since the first day is that when I arrived and I see it, I understood that changing things, we are going to suffer. For me, it was really clear. But in this moment, I don't want to say that it's going to take a lot of time. It's getting really hard, and and you guys are here for a long time, and you get lost after loss. It's really hard for everybody, and I know that. Sometimes I show that frustration, but I don't know. We can change that tomorrow.
Can I just ask you both this next question, please? You just mentioned it again then, that you're really nervous. As a player, does that help you to hear your head coach say, you and other players are nervous?
No, I think we spoke about the first goal at Old Trafford, and it's not teams are coming to Old Trafford and opening us up and tactically breaking us down. I think anybody who was at the game against Brighton, it was a 50-50 game. It could have gone either way. And we gave them a goal early on, which we knew we had to stop. We spoke about it in the pre-match. So we've got to stop giving away that first goal. That's the first and foremost thing. I think the first goal against Nottingham Forest, against Bournemouth, was a set play. The first goal against Southampton was a set play. So these aren't things that what are tactically a problem. These are things like you've got to go into the game and be focused and mentally ready to go and win a football matches. And football matches are sometimes defined on small margins. And at the moment, we're not getting them small margins because we're not mentally focused enough to make sure that they go our way. So we know things can turn, and like the boss has said, tomorrow's an opportunity for our players to go out there, put on a performance and get the win, and then go into Sunday. But yeah, of course, we take each game as it comes, starting with tomorrow, and tomorrow's another opportunity for us to make sure that we move on from Brighton and put things right.
Very, very good and smart comments from Harry Maguire there. I liked what he was saying there about the team, about confidence, and stuff like that. He does come across as a captain, doesn't he? He does speak good, doesn't he? He does speak very good, of course. And it's not like, as he said, look, not only that, the game against Newcastle, I would highlight the game against Newcastle. The first goal against Newcastle when it was one of the easiest goals I've ever seen. Now, if you look at the Newcastle goal and you look at the Brighton goal, they're very, very similar. And if you look at the common theme about all the other teams as well, when they score goals against us, they're very similar. They're cutbacks or they're crosses. And we have a big problem with cutbacks and crosses. And this is something that we haven't had since before Ruben Amorim. We've been having problems since before that. So at the end of the day, there is a problem mentally. Maybe it's a mental problem. Maybe these players can't pick themselves up mentally. Maybe they need to get over that mental block to try and do things, because at the end of the day, we can't keep conceding the first goal. As Harry said, we can't keep conceding the first goal. If we keep conceding the first goal, we're going to struggle because we don't score enough goals. And this is the problem. And this is what I would say in regards to that, of course. Ricardo, Ruben Amorim is about possession players who are not afraid to hold onto the ball at Old Trafford. They tremble because they feel the pressure of the fans. You need players with a strong mentality. Absolutely, Ricardo. And that is with every big club. If you play for Benfica, if you play for Sporting Lisbon, if you play for Porto, you need good mentality. You need people who can keep the ball. You need people who are confident. At the end of the day, all big clubs need this, and at the end of the day, look, we don't have that. And I don't think we've had that for a long time. I don't think Man United have been a confidence team for a long time. We're nervous on the ball. We play like the ball is a piece of cement. That's what we do at the moment. We run like we got a big fridge on our back, and this can obviously have a detrimental effect on the team. And the team right now are not confident. It's pretty obvious, and especially when we play at Old Trafford. What's going on with Old Trafford? I remember Old Trafford, teams used to lose the game before they come out of the tunnel. Nowadays they're like, yeah, I'm fancy this one today. Nowadays we haven't got personalities. Now, what we need to do when we're signing players, right? We don't just need to sign players. We need to sign bloody warriors. That's what we need to sign. Wayne Rooney was a warrior. Carlos Tevez was a warrior. Cristiano Ronaldo was a warrior. Roy Keane was a warrior. Hargreaves was a warrior. Carrick was a warrior. You know what I mean? Vidic was a warrior. Ferdinand was a warrior. These are warriors. Evra was a warrior. They're all warriors. Right now, we look at our team and we think, are they really warriors? Are they ready to break down that mental barrier that this team have? Because at the moment we let the little things disturb us. We give away a ball and we give up. And that's a problem. And this type of mentality is resonating throughout, our team completely, even with the experienced players. Jim, Sal, I'm not for Rashford or anything like that. He has his faults. One thing I would say, the Glazers and Ineos know that his problem. Why cover it? Glazers should have helped him years ago. Because it's you know what, they don't want it to leak to the media probably. And another thing I would say, Jim, and this is very important, is that his family treat Marcus Rashford like he can do nothing wrong. Marcus Rashford's agents is his family. And they're blowing smoke up his backside every single day. And the thing is, they treat Marcus Rashford like, you know what, he can't do anything wrong. Leave him alone. Let him live his life. They're that sort of mentality. But some of the things I've heard, I cannot believe that a manager like Ruben Amorim has had to deal with these type of things. Do you know what I mean? And it's crazy. I honestly feel Bruno's captaincy is a massive reason for our decline. Yorkshire Cowboy, I can't disagree with you, man. I can't disagree with you because I do believe that he shouldn't be captain. I really don't believe that he should be captain. I think it's about time the captaincy was taken away from him. I think the captaincy should be taken away from Bruno. I really do. I really do, of course. Darren, so I can't keep spending money buying new tellies every game. Look, that's taken off our transfer budget, Darren. You know what I mean? They've taken the transfer budget off. But I'm talking about Man United. When Ruben Amorim broke a telly, we've broken enough tellies in our time. Oh my goodness me, I've broken a phone, Darren. You know, I've broken a mobile phone. Oh my goodness me. The apathy in the fan base now felt towards players is resembling the end of the Rangnick season, when the form was poor and the fans hated all the players before Erik ten Hag came in, and we saw yeah, this is a bit like that. It is a bit like that. We've had enough of this. We've had enough of the talk. You know, to be honest with you, I don't blame any of the fans for being apathetic at all. I don't believe. I believe the fans have every right to be. You know, the way we've been playing sometimes, it is absolutely disgraceful. It does resemble the worst Man United team I've ever seen. Of course, we've had bad teams in the late 80s and the early 90s. Of course, I know that. But in the recent memory, in regards to the Premier League era, this is the worst team. By far, the worst team. Now, this has been building up for a very long time. This isn't just happened overnight. This thing of being the worst team has been building up for many years. We've been losing 4s and 5s and 6s and 9s and 7s, not 9s, but 7s for a long time now. And you know what? This whole season has been resonating to the point that we are getting close to relegation. Now, we have to cut this off by the source, and we have to stop, stop this losing mentality. And how are we going to do that? The only way we can do that is by what Rangnick said, is a complete reset. Now, people say that we signed 10 players since then, 15 players on since then. We've got a new team. But the problem is we're not signing the right players. We're signing players that have a wrong mentality to play for Manchester United. We've got to understand who we are. We're Manchester United. You can look at certain players and you can say that player ain't good enough to play for Real Madrid, for example. But, why are they good enough to play for us? Mentally wise, they're just not good enough. And to be honest with you, we shouldn't be signing Deadwood. We shouldn't be signing Real Madrid's, has-beens. We shouldn't be doing that. We need to build our team. We need to build a new team. That's why I said we need to bring in some young players as well, of course. Jim, Ole had some faults in the past when he continually overplayed Rashford when he was serious back problems. Club has a duty of care. They also messed up with Greenwood. They did, absolutely, Jim, spot on. I don't know if that still happens at the moment, but Man United do need to move away from that, of course. I know Ruben has a bad start to his United career, but I honestly believe if anyone can change things around, it's him. There's nothing special about him. There is nothing special about him. I know Ruben has a bad start United career, but I think Ruben Amorim is a fantastic manager, and I think Ruben Amorim, his honesty and his straightforward answering of questions is spot on. And I think it's what Man United need. Man United right now, and I tell you right now, could have anyone in charge. It would be the same. It'd be similar. It would be similar. We've shown our ability against the likes of Arsenal and Man City and Liverpool. Of course, we've shown our ability against those teams. The problem, the underlying problem with Man United right now is the problem that we've had for the last 11 years. It's playing the little teams, so to speak, in quotation marks, the little teams. We have problems against them. And we're not only losing against these teams, we're actually losing badly against these teams, and this is a mental problem, because we've beaten Man City in the past, we've beaten Arsenal and Liverpool, we've beaten all these teams. It seems like if we played Liverpool and Arsenal every single game and we played Man City, we'd probably be higher up the league, and that's the thing. And it is a problem, it's a mental problem, and I hope it is addressed. And I believe that Ruben Amorim is the right guy to address this and to fix it and to build Man United up. I like the way he talks and I like the way he handles himself, of course.
I didn't say I was nervous. I said the team was nervous. I was frustrated. Frustrated is different from nervous. And if you say it's good for the players see the coach frustrated, maybe not. But I didn't say I was nervous.
You're saying your players are nervous. We are nervous.
Yeah.
So,
as a team, because it's always we.
Does that help the team to sort of put that thought into their head?
No. I'm saying the obviously. If you want, I can be delusional and say different things. Right. I see it as I saw it, and I said to the players, and I said to you, I think it's a good thing to be really honest with you. If you want me to say different things, you saw one thing, I saw one thing, and I tell you a different thing, I can start to do it. That is easier for me. But what I'm saying is that, and they know, and you can understand the game. If you are in the stadium, you can understand. So let's face it and work on it. But I'm not nervous. I'm frustrated.
You see the way these media outlets are going in on Ruben Amorim. You see the way they talk to Ruben Amorim. You see the way they are to Ruben Amorim. Now, look at this, guys. As Manchester United fans, we know that these guys, these journalists who pretend they're Man United fans, some of them are not Man United fans. They pretend, and then they, they turn against the manager. like this. Look at the way they're doing. They're trying to contradict him. They're trying to catch him out. They're trying to make it hard for him in this press conference. This is exactly the problem. You know, now we, as we said earlier in the stream, we have to use this as a siege mentality, of course, a siege mentality. And that is what, of course, is very, very important, of course, guys. I think Greenwood did that to himself, Jim. Yeah, Greenwood was what he did, what I heard, my goodness. Bring back Alvaro, cheap 80 million. I think we might, Abdullah, big up Abdullah. Hope you're doing well. Big up. I would have taken good care of Greenwood if he's innocent, Sal. The ball treated him like a criminal when he is not. He wasn't innocent. He was the charges were dropped. Doesn't mean you're innocent, Jim. When the charges are dropped, doesn't mean you're innocent. It doesn't mean you're guilty, but it doesn't mean you're innocent. When charges are dropped, it's different. The audio was manipulated. I know that. I'm not, you know what? I know that the audio was manipulated, but the audio that a lot of people heard was not good. It was not good. And to be honest with you, we could have done two things. Half the fan base were against it, and we could have done two things. We could have, let him off, give him therapy, send him off, or we get rid of him. I think Man United washed their hands with it. I think as a young lad like Greenwood was, maybe we should have shown him some support, and maybe that is the old regime. Hopefully we have a new regime, but Man United are not a bloody mental institution. We're not a psychiatric unit. Man United are a football club. We're not a prison. Man United are a football club. And to be honest with you, this is why Ruben Amorim sent away Marcus Rashford, because what he's been doing is unacceptable at this football club. Going out 48 hours before a game, swearing at fans, going to the media, talking about your manager, and stuff like that. These things need to stop. And these are the things that I would say that, it's a mentality that we can't be too nice anymore. We can't be accommodating to people anymore. At the end of the day, as a human being, as a man, I would, you don't lay your hands on a woman, right? And that is what Greenwood did in that audio, okay? The charges were dropped. He's got a baby. And to be honest with you, good luck to him. He's not a Man United player anymore. I personally think he's not as good as people think. But he was a golden boy when he came through, right? But we leave that where it is because it's a very touchy subject and I don't want to go over old ground, of course, guys. Absolutely. Big up, Sal. Mentality has been the issue of these players for years, and I still blame these high wages because they make players comfortable and give them the... But absolutely, LT. Spot on. LT always comes with the gospel. LT, what does it do when you're rich too soon? When you're rich too soon, you take that edge away from yourself, don't you? You take the edge away from yourself because you're rich too soon, of course. Yeah, it's a touchy subject. Best we don't go down that avenue. Best we don't go down that avenue. Absolutely. So in regards to Rashford, his family is where the problem begins. In his family, keep feeding his ego, his career. Yeah, if you've got people, Jim, who continue to blow smoke up your backside, you're going to think you do no wrong. He's been, for his whole life, people been telling him what a great guy he is. Sometimes you need a little bit of discipline. Sometimes you need people to tell you when you're doing wrong, isn't it? Sometimes. Big up, Darkro. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you back, my friend. Good to see you back, of course. How about the players give freebies to the fans and refund their expenses after the loss? I'm sure that would improve the mood of the fans in the stadium because football's about losing and winning, isn't it? That's what it's all about. It's about winning and losing, and it's not just about winning. If that's the case, we'll have no money left. We lose a lot of games, goals for George. You know what I mean? We lose a lot of games, of course.
Mentioned in the dressing room after the Brighton game, saying these kind of things to the players directly. I'm right in saying that usually you don't say anything, you wait until the next morning. Why did you change your methods for that game? And do you sometimes feel that you need to, I don't know, you said you want to shock the club, shock the players. Was that a moment where you were doing that?
No, it was not. I didn't think. That's why I'm a young guy and sometimes I make a mistake. And that's why I don't talk about after the game. This game, I needed to talk and maybe it was a mistake. And then I get more nervous and go to the conference really nervous. And then you said things that you shouldn't say. and that's it. Sometimes you are a young guy and then do mistakes, and you improve. I don't promise. I don't promise you to that I will not do it again. I don't know, so I will try to improve.
James.
Ruben, you've been honest as always about the sort of financial realities that the club are going to face this year. There's a lot of talk of Napoli and Chelsea interest in Garnacho. If the club was to get to a point where it gets an offer that it deems acceptable for a player like that, how important is it for you that you are then able to reinvest and use that money?
Guys, I understand the question. Let's focus on the game. I don't want to talk about that, especially before a game. Our focus is that our players are here to play. We need to improve. We need to win games to have that feeling of winning. It's really important for us. So let's focus on that today.
Let's take the last question.
So that was Ruben Amorim, guys. Of course, very, very good press conference there. Very, very good press conference. Lots of things that he said there that were very, very interesting, of course, guys. Absolutely great things that he said there, of course. Very, very interesting words, of course. Very interesting. And to be honest with you, I agree with everything. Most of the things he says, were very true. You know, and to be honest with you, I don't like the questions from the media. The media always trying to catch him out. As you can see, the media trying to catch him out there. You can see the way they're trying to twist things, ask him the same question over and over again. What do you want him to say at the end of the day? You know, just let him be, let the manager be. And you know what? It is what it is. We see it. If we can get an improvement, I hope we do, of course. Are we relegation candidates, Sal? No, we won't get relegated. Randy, we won't. Randy, you haven't been watching football a long time, man. You know, you don't understand that teams lose points below us as well. One love, Jim. Big up Yorkshire Cowboy. Big up Randy, of course, though. We are a club in crisis. Yes, we are. The showing up against bigger teams is troubling. Why Leeds United before relegation? Very Leeds United before relegation, yeah. But Leeds messed themselves up financially, didn't they? Ruben Aaron basically said, "If you want me to lie, exactly. What do you want him to do? Lie? Exactly what I've been saying, of course. Exactly." I wouldn't be surprised, Jim, if he walks. If he doesn't get backed, he walks. For his reputation, he might walk. You never know, of course. I personally believe he is innocent. I don't know, Jim. I wouldn't say he's innocent or guilty. All I know is that I heard the audio. It's not the full audio, but I heard the audio. You can't just say you think he's innocent without proving guilty or proven innocent. The charges were dropped. So the charges were dropped. And it is a very sensitive subject. And I think we should leave it at that, Jim, because at the end of the day, you know what? We're talking about claims that are really horrible. And to be honest with you, I wish them the best of luck. They're married now, whatever they're doing, they've got kids and stuff. So I wish them the best of luck. But, you know, in regards to Manchester United, and I'll tell you like this, guys. Manchester United is a club. We have children in our fan base, right? So, unfortunately, social media exposes certain things, right? And children hear these things. You know, so if Greenwood had that audio recording of him doing what he did to his wife or his girlfriend at the time, it's going to resonate and it's going to give a bad message to the youth. That's what I would say. And that is the line that Man United were going down, you know, at the end of the day. You know, for me, I believe in second chances. I do believe in second chances. He's married with his wife and stuff like that. But I understand Man United's stance. And I think it would have happened to every football club. I honestly do, if they heard that audio. I really do. If a girl is scared enough to record an argument, there's already been incidents. Absolutely, Yorkshire. And you know, you can't just brush it under the carpet and say he's innocent. It's disingenuous, you know, at the end of the day, of course. Big up, Lewis. What's going on? Of course, guys. What's going on? Big up yourself. In Man United underestimate Rangers, they will get pumped. Rangers should have beat Spurs. They played them off the park in the most recent game. Rangers are scary on European night. Lewis, good luck to Rangers, but they're not scary. I wouldn't call them scary. They're not won anything in Europe. So I wouldn't call them scary. Man United will put them to the sword tomorrow, Lewis. Man United will put them to the sword tomorrow. They beat a weak they drew with a weak Spurs team. And that's Spurs at the end of the day, who also have a weak European record. So you're coming to Old Trafford, my friend. Mario Jardel had a problem with cocaine when he was at Sporting. He had to come out publicly and talk about the problem. It declined. It delicated the subject, but the club continues to pay. Yeah. You see drug problems and stuff like that. It's a lot more different than attempted R word, of course. You know what I mean? And it's like being racist, isn't it? And stuff like that. There's certain things that you can't do. That is the barrier that is crossed, of course, guys. Absolutely. Rashford, he let himself get hijacked, virtual signaling idiots. Dinner lady isn't this his area. Do that when you're tired. Absolutely, right? Absolutely, bro. Absolutely, mate. Big up Danny B. Big up everyone. Big up everyone, of course. I hope you're all doing well. Have a great one, of course, guys. Absolutely. Hamza Legit has been on fire, and our fast high press will definitely be a rude. Man United play against these type of players every single week in the Premier League, so they should be ready for that. At the end of the day, Southampton can win the Scottish League. So I would say that, you know what, Man United will be ready for Rangers, who have championship players. To be honest, I'm not worried about Rangers. If we lose to a Scottish team, you know what, I might as well quit football and become a monk, because at the end of the day, they're rubbish. To be honest with you, very rubbish. I've seen better quality in League One. I'm surprised the journos didn't ask him about the fallout in the dressing room, because it was on papers, because I know it was perfect for them to ask about it. They love the negative press about United. They love it, absolutely, absolutely. Big up Dylan. Great to get going better than strikers we have, yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, our strikers haven't got no audio recordings, Dylan. Unfortunately, fortunately, should I say. Press Amarim lie to me. Lie to me, absolutely. He's not going to lie to them. He's definitely not going to lie to them. Absolutely not. Killing it in the crap league, absolutely. Pick up. Killing it. I can kill it in the Scottish league. Give me some boots. I'll go and kill it. No problem, Jim. No problem. I just like to stay away from that subject because it causes a lot of division, of course, guys. Absolutely. Absolutely. No problem, Lewis. Join me tomorrow. I'm doing a watch-along, mate. Join me tomorrow. I'll be there, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been a great show. You're absolute legends, every single one of you. It's just opinion. We're just talking, guys. Don't take it personally. It's all about opinion, guys. That is what it's all about, guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today, of course. I will be back tomorrow, of course, for Breaking Dawn. If nothing else breaks, of course, guys. But it's all about Man United against Glasgow Rangers. Let's do this, guys. British Derby. Let's be up for it. And let's hope that we get it in tomorrow and we win the game, guys. It's about time, isn't it? It's about time. Take it easy, guys. Peace.